Chapter 6, the ScreenMaker Factory, in which we allow screens to be used together without knowing each other. Combining several screens to be used together without tying those screens directly to each other. The motivation for the ScreenMaker, which is the subject of this chapter, is just tooling. It's a factory mechanism that will allow us to easily swap which combinations of screens our game is composed of. You can very well build a full game with 0 screen makers by just directly hard-coding the screens you use in various places. But for our tutorial approach, the ScreenMaker makes it much easier to swap out and update pieces as we go. If you feel ScreenMaker is too much red tape, you're welcome to avoid it. We now support multiple screens, but to switch between them, it appears our screens would have to reference each other directly. Doing so would tie everything hard to each other. For example, our game screen will need to activate our game over screen, and the game over screen similarly needs the game screen to start a new game. Coupling everything directly is annoying when you're developing or modifying a game, because it's inflexible and requires you to do a lot of manual changes every time you want to recombine things differently. We can address it by extracting the relevant bits out into separate code through an interface. Then you can supply different implementations of that interface to vary those bits. We won't do it for all screens, that would defeat the purpose, and that interface itself would become rigid. But we will do it for 2 fundamental screens, the main game screen and the game over screen. They hold a crucial role. When we create a main game screen, we need to build up a full fresh game state, and this requires access to special resources. When we create a game over screen, we also require specific things. We again need the game state of the lost game past to show the game over status, and we need those same special resources mentioned for creating the game screen, because the game over screen must be able to restart the game. We extract creation of the special screens into its own module. It can't be the screen stack itself, otherwise we'd need to create new screen stacks for every variation. So we need an interface for creating the special screen, the 06 ScreenMaker IF, the new game and game over. Let's make some screens for it. First, a game over screen that looks like this, and then a dummy screen like a game screen that looks like this. And that is enough so we can populate a ScreenMaker in 06 ScreenMaker Fixed, which looks like this. To be able to run it, let's add some helper methods to 06 ScreenMaker Fixed. The run game over first method, the stock maker, and the go game over first method. Of course, you could combine all those 3 parts in a single statement, but separating them and naming them like this allows you to declare why you do them and to reuse them. Here, we only did the game over first variant. A main game first works the same way. And here an index 6 maker fixed to run it. As you run this, you should be able to toggle between the 2 screens by pressing a key. The dynamic screen maker. We just demonstrated the game maker concept working, but ScreenMaker Fixed is itself hard-coded. It's not a big problem. We can solve what we need just by making such similar tiny factory classes to instantiate the screen combinations we need. However, we can actually also make a parameterized screen maker. We won't use this actively yet, but we will illustrate the mechanism here. You can ignore the details of GameIF and BuildIF here. They represent the eventual game to be passed between the screens and the crucial resources that we needed to restart a game. So ScreenMaker Dynamic looks like this. The idea is that we pass the construction code as LAMP does. So game screen here is a function that constructs and returns a game screen, and overScreen is a function that provides a game over screen. Further, with the function init, we can control how we start, that is, which screen is placed initially. Typically, init is used to call either game over or new game. To use it, we can extend the screen maker dynamic with these helpers: the runDynamic method and the runBuildGameOverFirst method. In the upcoming chapters, we will get to use screen maker dynamic.